16 minutes past the hour, our weekly program with the Downtown Clinton Alliance. An absolute pleasure to have some musicians in once again. We have Brooke Byam Marques Morel. They are the People. And of course, you can catch them at the Living Room, but you're going to be able to catch them at Music on the Avenue this Thursday at 6 o'clock. Let's find out a little bit about both of you before we get to your performance. Brooke, I know you're from around the area, correct?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I was raised just north of Eagle Point Park in Bulger's Hollow.
Okay, and then you've been in music all of your life, I understand?
Definitely. It started even before I was born. My grandparents had a band for many years, Red and Bernice Hinton, and then I grew up listening to them, and my folks used to take me out to the supper clubs. Mike Cook, we were kind of chatting earlier, he used to play over at Woody's Rendezvous, and my first time on stage was actually 3 years old with Mike Cook and saying, "I just called to say I love you." Yeah.
Interesting. Now, and of course, you had Mike Cook in at the Living Room, so
yeah,
does he remember those days?
Oh, yeah. He speaks of them fondly, and actually his memory's even better than mine is. He knows all the details, what we were wearing that night, how many people were in the house and all that. And we went on and actually did a movie together a few years, I was 16 then, so 13 years later we ended up doing a movie and an original song in that movie together. And we don't get to see him too often now. He's down in Louisiana, but when he does come back, we usually play, and he did stop in at the Living Room, and everybody was very happy to see him.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. We had him in studio when he was in town, and he's a character. He's a special person, no doubt about that. Yep. Marques Morel, let's find out a little bit about you. Your background, where are you from originally, and how'd you end up here in Clinton, Iowa?
I'm originally from the Chicago area, and rambled and roamed around the West a lot and got to know the country pretty good, and then came back to the area, and I was drawn to the Mississippi River, into the valley, and met Brooke at a picnic, and that was about 4 years ago, and I'm still out here. So.
All right, very good. Now again, you're going to be performing Thursday, Music on the Avenue. The People, I understand you're saying that's your name. What song are you going to sing for us this morning?
Well, the one that we're going to do this morning is a fun little song called The Ballad of Woody Brown, and it's somewhat true story. There's a sleepy little town over in Illinois that is real cute and quaint, one of those places where you don't have to lock your doors or your car or anything like that. And there were a couple months over there though where a little crime spree broke out. Some people from out of town came in and were helping themselves to people's belongings, and they were trying to figure out who did it. And one night Marcus and I put our heads together, and we were like, well, maybe it'll come out in a song, like who this culprit is that's doing this little crime spree over there. And we came up with the Ballad of Woody Brown.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Well, this is a song about a man named Brown. His last name is Brown, his first name was Woody. And he lived in a little tiny town. It was a farmer's town, and the bus driver was Woody. He worked all week for the community school, knew all the kids' names, taught the golden rule of Woody. Well, the bar got robbed not once but twice across the street from the Church of Christ. The call came in around 5 a.m. The caller on the other end was Woody. Better get here fast, it's happening again. I seen two men, they're breaking in. One 6'4" and tall and thin. The other had a beard on his chinny chin chin. Ain't gonna let those criminals win. Thank you for your vigilance, so Woody. By the time the sheriff reached the scene, the men were gone, they sacked it clean, and Woody gave his statement then, a good detailed description. He'd seen it all from where he'd been, he'd got a real good look at them. Yeah, Woody. Them scallywaggons were organized, as the weeks went by, the crime stacked high. Them scallywaggons were organized, not a single lead or fingerprint. The only one that ever even seen the men was Woody. Well, they stole a goat and an Escalade. They stole the float from the Peace Parade. They stole all the quilts Miss Wilkins made and Little Charlie's lemonade. They stole from the rich, they stole from the poor. They stole the liquor from the liquor store. Stole the wreath from Bernita's door and Melvin's pile of horse manure. Stole Jared's truck and all his tools too. They stole from me and they stole from you. But you know what? They never stole from Woody. Now Woody's bus is rolling smooth en route to the Art Institute, a field trip to enlighten youth on the masterpieces of artistic truth. Good for Woody. If you think this is where our story ends, well, I'm sorry to say, but you're wrong, my friends. The bad news is they struck again, this time at the Art Museum of Woody. Well, they stole a goat and an Escalade. They stole the float from the Peace Parade. They stole all the quilts Miss Wilkins made and Little Charlie's lemonade. They stole from the rich, they stole from the poor. They stole the liquor from the liquor store. Stole the wreath from Bernita's door and Melvin's pile of horse manure. Stole Jared's truck and all his tools too. They stole from me and they stole from you, but they never stole from Woody. Well, this is a song about a man named Brown. Well, his last name was Brown. His first name was Woody.
Brooke Byam Marques Morel, the people. You'll hear them Thursday music on the Avenue. Brooke, do you do a lot of songwriting?
We do a lot of songwriting, yeah. We have, down on Thursday night on the Avenue, we'll be doing some songs that are some classic hits, that everybody can sing along with, and we'll sprinkle in some songs that we also have written ourselves. And we tour as a band, the people. We go out west, at Iowa, Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Colorado, Nebraska, New Mexico, down to Tennessee, and we have a following. We actually have some people, we play, and they're like, they want to hear our songs, they're like, just want to be loved. We don't pull out Woody Brown very often, but.
Now, would you describe more folk music, country music? What kind of songs are the folks going to hear?
We come from all different backgrounds with a lot of different influences, and Marcus comes from a strong folk background. I come from like a country rock and blues. Marcus also has a blues background. We actually have a bass player that is like a heavy metal bass player, and we have a fellow that'll be playing some saxophone with us, and so
Bingo.
Yeah, Bingo. Dave Layton, he'll be playing with us.
Oh, I graduated with Dave, 1972,
Oh,
Clinton High
bless
School.
your heart.
He was an all-state musician in high school,
Yeah.
The bass, I think.
Yeah,
or
he plays
cello or something like
Yeah,
that.
he can play the upright
Plays a little bit of
bass.
everything.
Yeah.
A lot of bit of everything.
Yeah, I like David. He's a good man.
Yeah, he is. So he'll be playing with us. So we'll have a little bit of everything. We'll have the oldies, a little bit of blues in there, some classic rock, some country, and then some folk songs, and then we'll have some hybrids that are a little bit of everything.
And of course, you got the living room. Tell us just a little bit about that.
Yeah, every Wednesday night we have an open jam. The doors open at 5 o'clock, and we jam from 6 to 9. People can get in there and sign up, and you can either get up as a solo act if you want, or if you want some folks to fill in. There's so many talented musicians that you can just say, I'd like some bass, drums, and harmonica, saxophone, and next thing you know, within a few seconds, you have a band, and it's
Choose your own band.
Yeah, it's a choose your own band. It's family friendly. We have performers as young as 4 years old getting up, and as old as 98 years old. So it's a really good time, and every week it's packed. So I'd say go ahead and get there early and get in on the fun.
Well, I'm hoping to have you in for an FYI program on one of these Thursday mornings. I always have wanted to get you in to talk about the living room. How long have you guys been around there?
We've been there for about 2 years, but we started out as a private, because we're also a recording studio. So we started out as a private recording studio, and then after we'd been there for not quite a year, we were like, it'd be nice to let people come in here and enjoy everything that we have set up. So we're like, we'll do like an open mic every Wednesday night, and we thought we would do it for a couple months, but it turned out that everybody was just like, oh, you have no idea how much we appreciate this, that we're like, okay, well, a couple months has turned into like a year and a half of.
So how wide of an area? I mean, do you get people coming from 50, 60, 100 miles out, or how far?
Actually, tomorrow night we have Rick Tiger entertaining. He's from Nashville, and we have folks from all over. We've had people from Scotland, come in. As far as consistent entertainers, I mean, we have people that come up from the Quad Cities almost every week to jam with us. And then we also have, like I said, artists that come in and do a dedicated night to perform. And tomorrow night, we have Rick Tiger from Nashville. He's a huge hit songwriter, very famous down in Nashville. And this will be his second time there. And the folks that saw him last time were just like, oh my goodness, like he tells amazing stories from all of his years in Nashville, and he shares all the hits that he's written, so.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So again, Thursday, down on the
Yeah.
avenue. Be sure and catch the people.
Thursday night. We'll
And
see
Lou,
you.
we got to wrap things up with you before we let you go here. Downtown Clinton Alliance, I understand Music on the Avenue has been going over quite well.
It has been going wonderful. And these last 2 weeks, it makes me see why you have been in radio for so long. We have got great talent in this area.
No
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Okay, so yeah, come down to Music on the Avenue 6 to 8 o'clock. They're going to be playing, and they're totally wonderful in person. And don't forget to stop by Cake Fantasy. She's open and has cupcakes and cookies and brownies for everyone, plus all the other food vendors. Blue 31's down there. We've got Mahala's. We've got Holly's Dogs. Just come down.
All right,
It's
very
a lot
good.
of fun.
Thank you all for coming in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.